everything that goes into a house we really learned how to do. You kind of never go back to thinking about a living space the same way.
We actually didn't plan on getting this. It was kind of an accident, but once we got it here, we realized that we were geniuses.
It was a beast, but we are so proud of the paint job. In particular, these flowers right here, hand painted them with our siblings. Pause. I will not take that slander.
Hi everyone, I'm Aubrey, this is Nic.
Hello.
And we live in this 40-foot school bus with our little pup Dash.
Yeah, so we've been on the road off and on for 8 or 9 years. I guess it's 9 years this year. Our first build was back in 2017. We did 4 years all the way from the United States to Argentina. So I think it was 26 countries. Hope I'm not exaggerating.
You're definitely exaggerating.
I think it was 26 countries.
Pretty sure it was 14, but that's still a lot of countries.
Pause. I will not take that slander. It was
Canada,
not.
U.S., Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua,
Costa Rica,
Panama, Colombia, Ecuador,
Peru, Chile, Argentina.
Argentina.
Was it 14? Okay. We traveled 14 countries in our van, the entire Pan American.
We ended up going home and we lived a, so to speak, traditional life for a couple of years. Lived in a house, and it only took us a couple of years to be like, it's time to get back out on the road. And we had met a couple of our friends out on the road who lived in a bus, and we thought, let's do that.
Yeah. We got it from a school system in Houston, 100,000 miles. It had been really well maintained. And the reality of building a bus did not set in until we have it sitting there. And I remember day one, I sat in the middle of it and just about had a panic attack. What have I gotten myself into? I don't know how to build these things.
When we got the bus, it was a classic yellow school bus. And one of the things we did not know about school buses when you buy them and want to convert them is there are very specific rules about things that you have to remove. You have to make sure it doesn't say school bus anymore. You got to make sure you get rid of the stop sign, a lot of things like that. And so we decided if we're going to do that already, might as well just start from scratch. So he really headed up most of the paint job. We got some family, my brothers, to help as well because it was a massive process.
You know, $60,000 all in. The bus itself cost about $8 grand. And we put about 50 grand into the build. We have almost 300 square feet of space. It didn't even start to look like much was happening for the first half of the build. But it's just about persistence. We paid the whole thing through as we went. All right, welcome. This is our 40-foot bus, Pippa. As you can see, she's absolutely massive. The first thing we did to the bus was a paint job. We wanted to do another distinctive color, kind of an earth tone, so we went with this terracotta. And I'll tell you, this takes forever. Painting this thing, we had to sand every single inch of it by hand. It was a beast, but we are so proud of the paint job. In particular, these flowers right here, hand painted them with our siblings. But yeah, come with me, I'll show you the rest. If you look up towards the roof of the bus, you can see we have 4 solar panels. They're 300 watts each. And then at the back, we've installed a 12-foot by 7-foot roof deck, welded it ourselves, built it with our family, hauled a 500-pound deck all the way on top, so it was a beast. But we absolutely love it. The sunset's up there. It's my favorite place in the entire world. Right at the back here, we've got our garage, got our backup camera, you know the deal. So you can see on this side of the garage, this is our entire electrical system. So we've got a big old inverter, charge controller, our propane tank. So on this half of the garage, it's kind of our functional stuff. And then this half, it might look like a mess, but trust me, everything has a purpose and a place. So this is the inlet for the water tanks. You can just barely see at the bottom here, but this is a 75-gallon clean water tank bolted directly into the chassis of the bus. And then on this side is a 45-gallon gray water tank. So that 75 gallons will last us about 2 weeks. 45-gallon, about the same thing because we end up drinking a lot of the water. So we're able to be off-grid for about 2 weeks at a time with that system. Come Come on inside. The front we've left pretty much original. It's a bus after all. So this is just how it was. But starting right here, we've got our home. This is all of our shoes. Little welcome sign. We're the Matneys. So this is our living room. This is our multifunctional Swiss Army knife space. Sometimes it's a studio, sometimes it's the hangout spot, sometimes it's a guest bedroom. We can fit 4 people on the couch. It also hides a little secret. We've got our storage compartment down here. So all of my music, all of Aubrey's sewing stuff. We have our plans, original blueprints for the bus. Things have changed a little bit, but it's just nice to see the journey of where it's come. And then all these windows are actually original. You know, this is, some people say don't keep the windows. It's maybe a matter of personal preference, but we love the light. That's part of why we bought this. We love to roll the windows down and let a cross breeze come through and just be in nature. So to us, you know, maybe downsides of temperature or whatever, we can work with that. But that's why we got these nice RV screens. I've got my desk set up right here. So this is my workspace. If it's just us, we're probably in this mode. But if we're hosting people, we turn this into a more of a living room feel. So again, this is meant for hosting as many people as possible. Most people we've gotten in here is 14 so far. In addition to that, this is our entertainment center. If you're on the road, you probably have a Starlink. It's completely changed our lives. So we've got a Starlink, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, everything right here. Last thing up here at the front is our air conditioning unit. Feels a little bit of a luxury, but we are from Texas and it is not livable in here if we don't have an air conditioning unit. Aubrey, you want to take over, babe?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is the kitchen area. We have a ton of space in here. The nice thing about it is that we can kind of like get by each other. We're not constantly, you know, like behind you. It feels like a normal size kitchen. This is my workspace. I work full-time, and one of the things that I needed when we were planning this build was a ton of space to work. The rest of the kitchen, let's talk about it. So we have like a ton of counter space here. So this is where I do most of the food preparation and things like that. One of the best things about the kitchen, my favorite thing, is this tile. We were in Mexico City and saw this tile. We knew when we saw this tile, we had to have it for the build, and we would just figure out where it went later. These 2 overhead storage areas are basically the bulk of our storage in this bus. I just love that it's kind of up here and out of the way. Moving back into kind of the back of the kitchen, we have our oven and stove. I mean, it feels like I'm in the kitchen in my old apartment. We also have a full-size fridge and freezer. We have so much space in here, and it feels like we can actually stock up for a week and a half, 2 weeks. And on this side, we have a massive sink. We actually didn't plan on getting this big of a sink. It was kind of an accident, but once we got it here, we realized that we were geniuses. Having this big of a sink in a moving place is so smart because we can kind of stash things in here. We also have like the knife magnet. We still have yet to have any knives fall off, but we can keep crossing our fingers on these Mexico roads. So that's the kitchen, and now we're at our bathroom area, so Nic will show you that.
All right. Hello again. Come on, guys. Welcome to the back half of the bus. This is a little bit more strategically laid out. We wanted to maximize the room on the front. This, we were like, look, we need to take a shower. We need to go to the bathroom. We need to wash our clothes. Let's make it as efficient as possible. On top of that, this is where the wheel wells are in a bus. And wheel wells are just the reality. You got to work around them. This is where the toilet is, and we built that on top of one wheel well. And then the other side, our bathroom sink and our washing machine, we built on the other wheel well. So if they feel a little bit imposing on the space, we were already losing space in those areas. So this is the washing machine, which is pretty big. I'll be honest, it's the only thing we actually haven't used yet, but it should work perfectly well. This right here, this is our toilet, and this is really nice. We've got plenty of room. So we got the Airhead composting toilet. It's super comfortable, works perfectly. Obviously, there's a lot of places that have a toilet in the shower, convertible, something like that. Makes a ton of sense, but we have a lot of room. So we decided we wanted our own toilet space. And honestly, additionally, this is a wheel well. So like lifting this was not, it was a necessity decision, right? It was already a wheel well box. So we're like, you know what? This is a little cubby almost. And we've got plenty of room to do our business. And you can close it off and bye. We've got all the room in the world in here. So yeah, that's our toilet area. Coming on back, this area is quite unique. This is like, it feels like where all the problems came together for one really creative solution, because we had to have a water heater. Water heater is right here. That's ventilated to the outside, and water heaters are a bit particular. You have to ventilate them. You got to make sure it's not a fire hazard. So we prioritized that and then sort of built the rest of the space around the need. That's the end of the middle part of the bus. And Aubrey, you want to come show off the bedroom?
Okay.
Come on.
So this is our closet. We decided we wanted to keep it open and not close it off, mainly because we like having an open space as much as possible. And then over here, this kind of finishes up the bathroom area. We have our shower. And again, we wanted to have a dedicated shower. Just makes it easier. There's a lot of water in here, you know, so we can kind of air it out when we need to, and it's not going to affect the rest of our bathroom space, essentially. And yeah, so here we also have some bifold doors just to make sure that things don't intrude too much into the hallway. We have a ton of storage for our bathroom things that we need here, and just our little shower head here in the corner. We have our max air fan here in the back, and that not only helps with the ventilating of the shower, just to make sure that we don't have any issues with the humidity and things like that. But my favorite thing to do with the max air is to open our windows and put it on ventilating mode so it sucks air out, and that just keeps a cross breeze going. So especially if we're in a warmer area while we're sleeping, that makes it really nice. So this is the very back of our home. Under here, we have some storage. This is where I hide my monitor. And we also have a lot of kind of stocked up cosmetics and things like that under there. I also have way too many shoes to live in a bus, so I've kind of stashed a lot of my extra shoes under there. So it's a bit of a mess, but it's nice that we have that space and we can kind of throw whatever doesn't have a home in there. Because we have this storage, we didn't have the ability to build steps essentially to the bed, and this is pretty high, as you can see. So we found this stool that converts into steps, so we can pull that out when we're ready to get into bed. This is our bed, and this is absolutely my nest. This is my little cozy area. As you can see, we have these surround windows essentially, and especially when we're at a place like this with such an incredible view, it's just a dream to wake up. I love cracking the windows in the morning and just watching the sun rise, or just like seeing the ocean and things like that. We also have overhead storage up here, and this is where I keep the bulk of my clothes. So I do a lot of these packing cubes just to keep everything organized, because this is a really weird shape. And lastly, this is a new install. We just kind of installed a curtain, basically, that allows us to block this section off. So I can go to sleep, get a good night's sleep, and he can stay up and do whatever he's doing, probably writing music or something.
Chasing dreams, but I can't find them through the smoke. Half awake in a marijuana haze.
We did all the stress on the front end to become homeowners, and now we just get to enjoy the adventures and the space and, you know, just make it ours. Nothing is done for you, but you know, that led to so many skills. We learned how to weld, plumbing, carpentry. I mean, everything that goes into a house, we really learned how to do. And it's a pretty amazing feeling to be in touch with the place you live, the resources that you use. It's just, it's hard to describe, but you kind of never go back to thinking about a living space the same way when you've been this intentional with it.
I agree with some people on most days. I reach out for you in the darkness. Layers Cause the sheets is all I find. It's 4 a.m. and I'm counting sheep again, trying to quiet voices in my mind.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.